looking to just guarantee and solidify that top spot in Group B, get themselves a place and a ticket to Montpellier in France for those grand finals up in June. And this win here, this best-of-3 victory, might just be able to do that, but will the Ninjas be going down without a fight? I very much doubt it. Let's jump into this one. Map 1 of Mirage.
Yeah, an immediate ramp aggression here from Nico and a Guardian. That might actually lead to a downfall here. NiP get the first man, and on the back of it, now they look to just barrel in towards the A bomb side. But FaZe, they stacked 4 players here, so that first man going down might tempt NiP into this stack. Rain, ooh, through the smoke, gonna find a double. And now there's 2-on-2. Get Right and Rez left standing. They're both low. Get Right not quite able to spy Olof there through that smoke, and will now back away. NiP with just 43 points of health between these 2 players left up. No armor on either player over on the side of FaZe though, so you know you can look just to overwhelm them with these Glocks.
Oh, no. Oh, did he see the timing? The timing on a Dren. He checks lower Harry and they cross past the doorway. He has no idea. Olof could have pre-rotated. He would have beat NiP to it. And they're still sneaking. There's no way FaZe are going to have an idea what's going on. Under's been cleared by Rez. And Get Right waits in the apartment. NiP opting to split up for this one. Interesting decision. And with Rez coming out through the underpass, he may catch the timing to Adren, who just looks back. So the timing, it hurts Adren, but it also favors him as well. And that leaves Get Right alone.
Yeah, he will be allowed to get this bomb down inside of B as a bare minimum. We know that NiP have been keen on going for these 4 spies in the second round, and this is going to give them that much more to do it with if they lose this one. But Get Right still alive, still kicking over here. Holding his position right now. Adren and Olof pushing by. Olof going to head in, but Adren gets decapitated, and now Olof looking to try and wrap on to Get Right. Does have the kit and a smoke, but Get Right's got the read. He's dodging Olof left and right, back around, ring around the roses. Get Right running away, wasting the time. The smoke down on the bomb, and Olof's got to stick it. Get Right, knife out. Olof going to get the kill, but there shouldn't be any time for the defuse. NiP will find that pistol round.
Wow, what on earth was that? A really well-played clutch by Get Right as well. Going for the app spawn and then pushing into the market. FaZe were not ready for that one, and yeah, Olof not being able to catch the timing around the corner. It's NiP to take the pistol round. And that was a very well-played 2v2 there. I would have loved to know what the call was from Rez, just lurking through underpass, maybe trying to sell the fake or get information as to this setup. But it's no worry when Get Right's able to find the 1-on-2 like that. NiP take the pistol, FaZe go for the force. And only facing 2 AKs on the NiP side as well. We've seen these forces be pretty crazy throughout this entire group, Harry. Teams have struggled to convert pistol rounds on every single map, every single series. And I imagine this one will be similar. FaZe aggressive in the B apartments. Get Right missed the timing. Olof has found himself in that kitchen, or at least opposite it. And he may be in a world of hurt because NiP looking to set up within this B bomb site here. All the players grouped in the apartments. And Olof, he's got to deal with this push from Get Right.
Oh, he will. Gets his revenge for the last round. The issue is so many players here. They're going in one at a time, and Olof on the other side of this smoke. 3 kills to his name. He has sent NiP packing. The apartments belong to Olof, and now Lekro and Dennis asked to 2v5. You mentioned how these 4 spies have been finding a scary amount of success, and that trend might continue here on the back of Olof alone. Lekro looking keen to try and flush him out, but now with this crossfire set up, even as Lekro gets the first man, Olof's going to put him down. He's on for the ace, and is he going to get it? Dennis on the other side with the nade. Olof, what an ace, what a play, what a man up in the apartments. And FaZe steal around straight back.
I love that Rain sets him up for that play as well, right? When once he gets 3 kills, he throws the AK back to Rain and takes the UMP from him instead, and then goes towards the right side playing anti-flash, knowing that NiP could just pop flash their way in and blind both players. Rain takes the attention, they kill him, but by that point, Olof has already turned around to trade. And an ace from the Swede up against Swedes. It's FaZe to find their first, and AWP for Guardians straight away. That is a very early AWP, and NiP have got to deal with it. Deagles and CZs in this round. And Guardian almost catches that player in underpass, just misses the timing, goes back towards the top of middle, but he is getting wrapped, so has to be very careful here. No more support in middle. FaZe opting to give up this portion of the map, and Guardian will join them dropping back in from the connector and going towards a spawn here to cover the window boost or even just wrap the CT. NiP, they've now moved their way into middle right as Guardians left. And hey, they'll get afforded this portion of the map for free, but FaZe are very, very aware. They're very okay to give up this position because knowing they can just fight the connector from that A-bomb site, and NiP are not going to be armed for that engagement. They'll rotate back round towards the A site, looking to split con with both Dennis and Rez. And Guardian, he's got to be careful he doesn't rotate off here. He's just checking the spawn for that potential window boost, but now as NiP start to meander their way into the A site, Guardian's going to spot it. There's one.
NiKo going to step up with another, and this attempted force buy from NiP is just getting torn apart. NiKo is on a tear. Electro's finally able to shut him down, but it is all in vain. FaZe will convert that anti-eco round, and now they should stand to pick up this 3-1 lead. It will just be Glocks out for NiP in this following round. And we saw Get Right look good in that pistol round, right? When he clutched it out in the 1v2, I was already feeling optimistic for NiP because we said we needed to have some players stepping up consistently. Yeah. But the real worrying thing is Olof, a man who has been very hit and miss as of late, is really arriving to the scene. And then obviously we just had a great sequence from NiKo and Guardian there. So it feels like you're having the necessary pieces of the puzzle stepping up early for FaZe. And that sets a bit of a worrying tone here for NiP. Obviously, their first buy round coming up in the next. That's when we're really going to get a taste of how this NiP roster stacks up versus FaZe right now. But they have found a man in this round. Rain going aggressive up in top mid was flashed in and dropped by Rez. He did get one for his troubles.
And the info as well, knowing that that bomb was outside of middle. Not committing towards the A site, so FaZe have opted to give that one up and keep 2 players in the mid portion of the map. However, a rotation might be needed, and it might be available. NiKo could even push underpass here once NiP set up for this B play. Olof is going to communicate it, but he's got to take gunfights. No utility to stop this push, and a well-timed rotate from Guardian finds himself with the information. Setting Olof up, 2 for him. Bomb still in the apartments. Dennis is out on the site, but Olof is not going to let him cross to Guardian, and NiKo will even swing in as well for another kill. This round is done as anything. Guardian kept alive at the back of the site by his teammates. FaZe find their 3rd. And as you said, Harry, only one casualty. It was just that solo SMG that would rather be upgraded into this rifle round anyway. NiP are going to have full AKs. A decent buy as we get into what will be the first buy round of this map. They very much come late, Harry, over these last couple of days.
Yeah, I'm loving the force buy culture that we're seeing bred in Group B. And with the success it's been able to find, you imagine this could be the new trend that we see from a lot of these teams. Obviously only now just kind of starting to get to grips with some of these economy changes, right? Trying to figure out the ways to reap the rewards of it. Guardian still floating around over here in mid. Lots of confidence on him already just to leave himself out in the middle area, checking lower tunnels, swinging between the 2. He does have Rain up on short to help him out. And NiP still just waiting, hoping that eventually someone from FaZe tries to pressure mid and gets caught out. Nothing comes through initially, so finally they try and make a play happen.
Wow.
How has Adren won that?
Well, it was actually NiKo who looked away. Adren was behind him and he had his back covered. So NiKo, I think his barrel of his gun actually hit the player. But that is unfortunate. Get Right not getting the kill despite dropping and FaZe not hearing it.
Oh, and in the meantime, Adren's got aggressive into Palace, right? This gets the information that this portion of the map is clear, and this facilitates this early rotate from NiKo, who's now going to be at this B bomb site to help pad things out even more. Olof is here, and he's currently 9-0. He's playing the little boost spot, flash in for Rain, lots of damage found, and he spots absolutely everyone in this NiP squad up in the apartments. These rotations are already coming in, so the kills have to come through for NiP, and they have found the first man. Olof over at short, has NiKo here to help him out. The crossfire between them is shutting this down, and everybody falls for NiP. Only one man found on the FaZe roster. Money continuing to build up, and that's all on the back of that information that both the Dren and Rain are able to get early on in that round.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for NiP there. 25 seconds left, or when Rain jump spots and with the flashbang gets the info, they had to commit. There's no time to rotate. So you have FaZe playing real goblin positions. One player boosted within the site, one player hiding on catwalk, and the other Rain sitting on car. Crossfires are plentiful for FaZe, and a shutdown round putting NiP to pistols once again. Guardian does get smoked out of the window this time, but as we've seen in these past few rounds, he has no fear with fighting in middle. The issue is, being alone, that underpass is always a problem, and you have to try and play the timing as to not get caught by that. He'll just leave Molotov to keep Lekr contained. Guardian rotates back round towards the A site. I like how I'm not even sure what the word is. I like how much I'm seeing Guardian move around the map. He's not being stagnant, Harry.
Yeah.
He's constantly repositioning. NiP are left guessing, and great shot from Dennis as a flash goes into middle. Nico picked up early. It's an M4 given over to the likes of NiP, but what can they get done with it?
Well, Lekro's still challenging over towards the B side of things. Obviously, we've got Get Right down at ramp. He's played this position almost every single round. So still, there's just this slow default being held by NiP. Olaf's going to get boosted up over the top of Short, and Adren plucking Get Right from the ranks of NiP. Oh, there's Olaf's first death of the game, but it's quickly traded by Guardian over here in the A-bomb site. And this is looking like the B commitment from NiP. Now, this would be the right call to make if they go now, but once again, pesky Adren clearing out the ramp portion of the map facilitates the early rotate from Guardian. Anywhere NiP give up, there's immediately someone from FaZe looking to get the information. And here's Guardian shutting down Lekr. Just Forest and Dennis remain in a 2v3.
And it's the same. They're trapped, Harry. 20 seconds, no time to go anywhere but B, and there's two players on the other side. Good luck. Forest tagged, and Dennis tries to win his duel, but gets shut down by Rain on the card. Now, Forest might be able to get a trade here. Rain's tagged up, but 9 seconds is going to be the biggest issue. Time playing against him, and FaZe Clan as well. Another round to these CTs. They are looking unstoppable right now. Wherever NiP walk, Harry, they walk into a stack. And as you said, you know, Dren, not exactly top of the charts in kills, but the information he's getting is really setting his team up for success on the CT side. 5-1 up. Another buy round for NiP. Still yet to facilitate this AWP on the T side. And that has been down to money more than anything, but I imagine we'll see it at some point. Going for a default A smoke setup. Trying to catch FaZe off guard with this immediate play. We've got Guardian fighting the Palace with this AWP, and no split for NiP. This could be a bit of a problem. Guardian's in a great position. Bomb dropped. All the info's here, and Guardian's found 2 kills. Adren's going to join, and that's a triple for Guardian. Up on top of the Palace. NiP had 5 players coming through ramp, and through the choke point, they get choke held.
Choke slammed, mate.
Yeah.
They're getting pretty messed up here at NiP. And I mean, one of the real talking points here has to be the big performance from Olaf initially, right? He's been that missing piece of the puzzle in this FaZe roster. I think yesterday, right, even in the games that we saw them pick up, I'm pretty sure there was one map where he like scraped by with, I swear it was like just still single-digit kills, I want to say, you know, like really, not the Olaf of old, but it didn't really matter, right? You had the rest of the team around him to step up and find their footing. Here, the fact that you've got Olaf firing on all cylinders is something that FaZe haven't really had reliably as of late.
He has played a great tournament so far, but the thing is you have to remember is the level of opposition in their group is far different to the likes of FaZe play on a weekly basis.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to hear versus NiP, the team that a lot of people have pegged to challenge FaZe for this top spot is going to be very valuable indeed. Rain and Olaf both getting pressured here at the B side of the map, and they've both been brought down low. Rain, how has he landed that?
3 bullets.
Dennis able to shut him down at the very least, and now Olaf becomes the unknown quantity. Do they know that he's here? He'll get Dennis before he's traded, so they do deal with him. A 2-on-2 now, and this was just the partial investment from NiP, so a good return on that at the very least. This bomb is on the back of Rez. That's the problem here. He's trapped over towards Short, so as they're trying to get him back across, Adren might be able to catch this bomb out, but no, Rez just gets past. 2 HP remaining. Nade going to find great damage onto Adren, but through the smoke, Nico remedies that problem. FaZe sitting 7-1 up. And that one might come down to the wire. It might have just been the partial investment from NiP. But it's still another FaZe CT side round. And
Nico has looked terrifying as well. 9-3 on him. His rotations into this B site have been perfect every single time. NiP have, Nico's not even playing B, Harry, but every time NiP have gone B, they've walked into Nico. That just shows. And FaZe Clan 7-1 up now. yet to falter. Since that pistol round, of course, that was not converted by NiP. NiKo trying to fight the con side as well. Smoke on the molly delayed, and the reason being is NiP maybe didn't expect him to push out so fast, but Rez will still win that fight. The trade is there. Rain finishing off the job with a nade onto Dennis. And we may have this reboost once again. It was spotted by someone in the ladder room a few rounds ago, but Rez, a little bit of damage his way, and yeah, FaZe will deconstruct it. They don't want to give away this pick. They're sitting in a 4-on-4, waiting for NiP to bring their own play, and Adren, once again, he's pushed up on the ramp parry. NiP just can't seem to get ahead of this play. Boost up into window is very well timed, but FaZe Clan decide to get aggressive on the B side of things as well, pushing deep through the apartments. Now, this doesn't exactly allow for a rotation. Both their teammates are also on A, but it at least gives FaZe the knowledge that this is likely going to be a push.
Yeah, Dren does get caught out of the ramp by Get Right, so now, for the time being, Guardian is just alone at this A bomb site. He desperately needs some support from the rest of the team. Lekr0 will get blindsided there, and Guardian, second, looking for the third. Get Right might just be the hero NiP needed here, though, as he's cracked the A bomb site open. Forest is in with another, and this leaves Olof in the 1v2, but this has been a Swede we've been able to rely on. He plucks Get Right from this round, and now that leaves Forest in the hot seat, one-on-one. Forest has had a scary amount of these clutch situations go his way, though, and Olof, that'll be fresh in his mind. Bomb timer ticking down, Smoke is on it. Olof trying to find it, but he can't. And this is costing precious time. He still can't find it. Olof, finally he gets it, but the smoke is gone, and Forest gonna peek on the back of it.
Look at that plant, though. I mean, I've not seen that plant before. That's a wide plant, Harry. That is not in the corner or next to the box like it usually would be. It's actually, if anything, open to CT as well. And a nice try there from Olof, but he's not able to convert it. Forest, of course, the king of NiP in recent history, saves that round for them, and they find their second on this T side. Pause for FaZe, and you can see Yanko is getting in, giving his input. But if you're FaZe here, you're not too worried just yet. Still nice and strong to start things off.
But Hugo, we've seen in, I'm going to literally say almost every single game, a team get off to these big leads, and it feels like they always go 7-1 up. You got to get like, it's always like some meme scoreline, right? Just throwing in. They'll have a great lead, and then the team that's on the back foot wins a couple of rounds, gets the economy of the winning side down low, and from there they chain together a whole bunch. So that's what NiP are hoping for. But that money is still a little ways away from being broken just yet in the FaZe camp. Mid aggression, the order of the day, and Guardian fully flashed out of mid this time. That aggression that he's been having here will get punished and dealt with by NiP very early on. And now the question becomes, sitting a man up with 1:30 left, what are they going to do with this?
Guardian, he ran through a molly to take that fight. He really wanted the pick in middle. The issue was he got fully blinded, and the molly was still up, so he couldn't exactly run back through it, and probably didn't even know where it was if he could. The smoke fades in connector. NiKo close up to Dennis, but NiP are holding for the re-aggression, knowing that FaZe have been keen to get aggressive on this T side. So NiP, pretty good default. They've got the B-apps push held. They've got, not exactly ramp, because that's been a gunfight that's favored FaZe majority of the time, but Get Right's holding the spawn push at least. And then the rest in middle. Rain here as well, spraying down, drops the bottom. One jump from Dennis, but it won't connect. Hoping for a miracle there with the jump shot. Molly back to middle, and look at this timing play from Lekr0. He's sneaking in through the B apartments. They have just fallen off. FaZe focus in on middle. Both of these B players are going for the boost, and Lekr0 could abuse this. Rez is trying to catch the attention, but Olof turns back round and catches Lekr0 moving out through the apartments. NiKo's ducked below this shot from Dennis, and this is falling apart for NiP. 20 seconds left, 1-on-4, and no idea that Adrian's on stairs. It's going to be FaZe up to another round. 8 here on the CT side. NiP, they try and fight middle, but FaZe just batter them down there with the boost once again.
Yeah, FaZe doing a real job of just eroding away at any advantage NiP are able to take, right? It's not every day you see a team go 5-on-4 up, they take that early man advantage, and then the round ends with the 4 players that were left on that losing team still being alive. and everyone falling for NiP. And it wasn't even like, you know, they just went for a Hail Mary push on the back of finding the opener, you know. It wasn't like it was just one big spray down from FaZe. It was a very slow, you know, whittling down of NiP in that round.
Everyone got a kill, pretty much.
And, you know, what more can you ask for if you're FaZe? Yanko's probably having the easiest time of his career right now, stood behind these guys. Hasn't really had to say all too much just yet because they've just been winning these individual head-to-heads at NiP. Once again, it's back into this mid-aggression. The issue with that is, right, is we've seen them be able to get mid in almost every single one of these rounds, but it's that aggression from Adren once again down through ramp. Gets all the information in the world for FaZe. And NiP, you know, sure, you've got middle, but you've got nowhere else. So they've got to try and grind their way into one of these bomb sites now with just under a minute left on the clock.
They might have caught the timing, though. The thing is, NiKo's just moved out of the ramp and back towards his A site, so he's going to be ready for this. And yeah, of course he is. One kill. Trade is there, though. Now A is NiP's. Now they still need to be aware of Adren's position, plus Guardian having that CT spawn cut off from the jungle. There's two more CTs rotate through the spawn as well to set up for what will be a retake if NiP are given the bomb plant, but that's still a question in and of itself because Adren's moved back up, he's dropped Forest on the stairs, their attention diverted while Rain climbs up and above, and he'll drop the bomb and one more. Again, FaZe, just no fear in taking dry peeks into the site. NiP, you know, their attention getting diverted between multiple targets and another round for FaZe. All too easy, it seems, Harry.
Yeah, and obviously, with NiP dropping that match yesterday versus Devils 1, it puts them in a pretty dire spot now. You know, everyone kind of had them pegged as the team that could have challenged FaZe. And now, I mean, it's even the spot to come back and play again kind of in question for the Ninjas. NiKo, this time, not going to see him over towards the A side of things. He takes his position down in lower tunnels. Lekro tries to take the fight in the molly. Guardian's going to best another in the meantime, and NiP, they've already lost so many players in this round and gotten very little for it. Olof re-aggressing into the apartments here for FaZe, looking to join up with NiKo just to try and bail him out of this position. Also has the double kind of bonus of clearing this B side of the map. NiKo in with another despite being on just 13 points of health, and NiP, once again, it's back to this slow mid-crawl for the remaining two.
Yeah, they can't get anywhere with Guardian up on short, or at least watching it. Forest tries to peek him with the AWP, but flash over does allow Rez to get the kill instead. Adren's still here, cornered, can't retreat, but doesn't matter, he wins it. Adren has been getting a kill around for FaZe. And another one to close out that one. It's 10-2 here, Harry. No real signs of life for NiP. That, you know, they've not gone for anything but this mid control, with the exception of a couple of, you know, last-minute B rounds where FaZe have had stacks, and one early A execute, which resulted in them getting absolutely wrecked by Guardian. So game plan is lacking here for NiP, it seems, and FaZe are not giving them the room to come up with one.
Yeah, you imagine NiP are very tempted by this mid portion of the map, not just because mid is like an essential avenue to try and grab a hold of, it facilitates so many splits, but also because Guardian's been taking these aggressive peaks, Olof's been getting boosted up on short, now NiKo's throwing his hat in the ring by taking some mid control, so they're trying to exploit this mid aggression from the FaZe clan side. The issue is it kind of relies on you actually dealing with the mid player and not having it go the other way. But even then, right, NiP kind of lacking the game plan once they take control of mid. You know, we've seen them in a few of these situations get mid control, be 5-on-4 up after finding the aggressive man there. Then they kind of run out of steam. They don't really have anywhere else to turn. So this time it will just be the set A play. They've got 2 smokes and 2 flashbangs to facilitate it. So they're not going to throw any of those in. Instead, just dry peeking Guardian over in CT, and that fight will go their way. This A side play looks to yield some results here for the Ninjas. The bomb can go down. Forest trying to take an aggressive stance in CT, drops another man. And now with bomb planted 5-on-3 up, best case scenario for NiP we've seen them in a very long time. Yeah,
apparently a conversion as well off this, because Rain and NiKo, they need a huge 2-on-5 to take this one back. Forest close in the corner. Rain expects it. Quick kill. Oh dear, Rain's doubled it. There's another man up close, and Dennis will be able to trade. It's now just Nico. Bomb plant open. Letcro in the connector, and a Molotov that won't be able to work because the smoke is on the bomb, and Nico's gone for the peek. Another kill from the man himself, and he could stick this defuse. Does Letcro know the lineup? That's the question. It's a no. He's spraying, and Nico stuck the bomb. He's won the round. 2 on 5 for FaZe Clan in the post plant, and they win it out.
NiP, you can't even begin to imagine how horrific
God.
losing that round must feel. And, I mean, Raid landing some incredible shots there. Nico as well, able to get 2 of his own, and then just sticking the bomb in the smoke. Letcro never sees it coming. So close, but not close enough for NiP. They might just go back to this A play, right? They were able to almost get it done with no utility. Now they've got some to play around with. The issue is FaZe pretty aware that this is really the only thing that's worked for NiP. They've stacked 3 players towards this A side of the map early with a Dren holding close to this smoke. A flash could look to come in from Nico.
Oh, yes.
There we go. Everyone's blind. Dren gets the information, and he might get away with a bit more than that. I think Guardian even shut down Forest at ramp, so the entire A-side play getting dismantled. NiP manhandled in this round. Dennis, a 1 on 5 required, and surely there's no way back into this for him.
But this is what we mean when we say, like, even if you have a game plan, if you're NiP, it's just getting disrupted. Like, they set up on ramp with 3 Harry, they make a bit of noise, Adren calls for the flashbang, Guardian peeks stairs, and you have 3 players fighting ramp on either side. NiP getting caught. Dennis, same story. It's 3 kills for Adren in that round. He's not going to be able to get anything done. NiP, again, falling short of, you know, even getting onto the bomb site there. They couldn't get past the choke point. And this is kind of just the perfect game if you're FaZe. 12-2 up, 1 round left of the half. NiP just playing with a loss bonus, playing with their inheritance.
It's really bad, you know, like timing for NiP. You know, like they come into Mirage, you pick this, you're very much relying on having your usual stars show up, and also a few players on FaZe not arriving. And you know, usually that's something you've kind of been able to bank on somewhat. You know, just having one man fall a bit silent, and that's not the case here. Instead, we're having one of the best performances from Olof we've seen in a little while, despite his good form at this event. But this round, they have dealt with Guardian once again over here towards the mid portion of the map. They're sit 5 on 4 up. Nico still challenging mid. Has to be a bit careful here.
I don't think careful is in Nico's
vocabulary.
Yeah.
Finishing each other's sentences, Hugo. Nice.
Cute.
Yeah. Oh, that boost does catch Rain off guard. Nico's going to try and peek on the back of it, but he's only good for 1. Rez is really showing up in spades in this round, and it's a Dren left in the 1v3 or 1v4. It doesn't come through. NiP able to salvage 1 more round, but is it going to be enough? It's a 12-3 scoreline at the end of this first half. Certainly not how NiP wanted to come into this game. FaZe firing on all cylinders, and what a joy it's been to watch them play. There's still a whole second half and still more maps yet to come. Some more great Counter-Strike coming your way after the break.
Dancing on my own when you spill that ramen coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette, that is precise the way
Well, it's a great day to be a FaZe fan right now. They're sitting 12-3 up in the first map, the map pick of NiP. And focusing on the most important Swedish man in the server, Olof is having a phenomenal game over on the FaZe side of things. For NiP, we've seen a few glimmers of hope from the likes of Forest, Get-Right and Rez. But still really yet to see them find their footing here on Mirage. And the issue is they don't have much time to find their footing, Hugo. Now is very much going to be NiP trying to stumble back to their feet, trying to get back into this game. And you feel like the pistol round, to say it's a necessity here, almost feels patronizing.
But we're going to set it anyway, Harry. And yeah, NiP, even if they get it, they got the previous one and still lost to the Force by a FaZe. So it doesn't spell anything but disaster here. Olof in the B bomb site right now. NiP still, two players in rotation. Not in rotation, despite spotting the bomb. Dennis is going to be able to defend, and Rez getting 2 as well from the sandwich. This is a weird round for FaZe. They showed the bomb on B, trying to force rotations off A, and then burst out the A site. For some reason, I don't know why, NiP see the bomb, and they keep 3 players on that A site, and FaZe walk into their death. So maybe a convoluted pistol round there. And not falling for it, although Olof will find Dennis, and anything is possible, but not this round, apparently. NiP will get the pistol, but remember, FaZe do like a force by Harry.
Yeah, and NiP aren't big on anti-ecos, as we've seen a couple of times.
I mean, they're big on them, they're just not big on winning them.
Yeah, they been able to get them quite a lot, NiP have. It's just been the conversions that have been a problem. So they do have a chance here at finding a 5th. There's going to be no force buy from FaZe. Instead, it is just Glocks across the board. 1 solitary flash on Rain.
Decoy strap, mate.
See, one that we like to do at MM.
Yeah.
is you will go ramp. Try this out, by the way. You will go ramp. You smoke top mid. You throw the decoys from ramp into top mid and have one guy push it. And it will never work at a pro game because no one falls for decoys. But in matchmaking, it's pretty damn great.
Everyone heavily rotates towards mid.
Yeah,
and
it's great because they hear all these footsteps. They're like, guys, this is it. This is my moment. I can go mid. I can get the kill. But no, it's A, and you've been bamboozled.
Well, let's see if NiP fall for the same play, Harry, because that's exactly what's happened. Those decoys have gone over, and FaZe are going to be looking to burst the Palace. NiP not really adjusting here. Get-Right's going to be able to stop the bomb plant with the crossfire from Dennis as well. Flash over and players into the moors of Rez and Dennis. Both of them getting a lot of damage. Rez finds 3. Get-Right joins the party, and it is a clean round for NiP. No force buy for FaZe, and NiP back on the CT side, starting to grind back into the game, but it is a long road to recovery.
Yeah, it's a long and perilous journey for NiP. Thwart with danger around every corner, but that's not to say it's an impossible one. Sitting 5-12 down right now, but they've gotten off to a good start by winning the pistol, securing that anti-eco. The buy is in for FaZe now. No AWP for Guardian. They have gone for this 3rd round buy. Smoke trading into mid, and Raid barreling through short with such speed and tenacity. He's already in the B bomb site, but Lecro, primed and ready, shuts down the point man for FaZe. Forest now over towards the apartments, will get challenged and traded by Olof. But the mad advantage still sitting in favor of NiP. These rotations have came in fully. All 4 players for NiP in that B bomb site. Dennis must have heard that mid rotation from Nico, but knowing is only half the battle. The other half of the battle is the battle, and Dennis is going to lose that.
Yeah, now Rez getting smoked off, has to rally back towards that A bomb site, but FaZe Clan are already here. They brought that bomb through the connector. Guardian can get an open plant in for con side, but he's taking his time. This is giving room for NiP to gamble and guess his setup. Get-Right's got the information. He tags Nico down and Guardian as well. Both these players getting hit, and this bomb plant now getting delayed significantly. Now Guardian has to plant default, so he's not shot from short, but that gives Rez an angle to fight, so Olof has to cover. Guardian so low though. And that will be the kill that Rez will focus on. So Olof has to be the first point of contact. He goes to the right rather than on the Palace. Rez won't stop the plant. And now FaZe, they're limited in post-plants, but if they win their duels, it doesn't matter. They just can't let it get into a defuse situation. That's going to make things more difficult. Nico's dead, and Guardian's got to get a trade.
Oh, spots Rez, but it's not enough. And now Olof wrapped into the Palace position. So many smokes up for NiP, though. should nullify this as they smoke off the Palace. Olof now has to go pushing through. Uh-oh, he's taking Get Right off the bottom. Rez is now on it. Lecro's going to hold off the Palace, and for Olof, yeah, there's no more hope in this round. He'll just hold on to the AK, so a nice attempt. But even if that smoking Palace had faded and allowed for the peak, Lecro had another one to throw in there. So that was very much a done deal. NiP, another round. And this could be the start of something here, Hugo.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting back into it round by round, Harry, and that's how you have to take it if you're NiP. FaZe have only had one actual rifle by this half, so coming down to the wire, but 12-6. NiP doubling their score from the first half already into this CT side, and I don't want to get ahead of myself and predict a comeback, but we'll see. FaZe on the T side certainly going to be dangerous to deal with, as NiP are finding out the hard way. And a bit of a slower reaction from FaZe to get that bomb down on the A side definitely makes you think if they got the open plant in while Nico was covering short before Get Right peeked out, that could have been a very different round for FaZe. But left to the default plant, which is not favorable in a 3-on-3 unless you have that CT control, which of course they didn't. Let's see what they've got here. Pistols, solo hero AK for Olof, who did save it in the previous round, and he might find Rez. He does find Rez. That's a huge pick from this one gun, because now the rest of FaZe is going to barrel out over this A bomb site. Get Right here alone. He's had to drop back, and he's getting chased. Nico spamming the Tech 9. Free gun upgrade as well. 4-on-3, and FaZe can get the plant.
At NiP, they really don't want to be losing this round just to the hero AK purchase. There's a few bits of armor scattered across FaZe. Not a round you should be giving up if you're NiP. So for Dennis and Forest, clearing out a Dren here is massive. Nico in position, starting to try and back away. They do have Olof lying in wait down in mid. It's the wrap from Lecro that looks to try and solidify this round. Bomb planted for Olof, and Guardian just wasting time. They're relying on this flank, and it will come through. Olof falls down in the connector, so we never get to see it. Actually, the bomb wasn't planted for Olof, so you know, having him down in mid, not really too valuable to FaZe there.
And that's an even weirder plant, considering FaZe at one point had access to the CT spawn, right? They get the kill onto Get Right, they pick up the gun, they have flashbangs to continually fight into the CT spawn. Now, I would have liked to see them use all of them as well, but...
Yeah, it very much looked like the real call there from FaZe was to set up for the CT after plant. You saw Nico and a Dren challenging there. And on the back of losing a Dren, Nico had to try and reposition. The bomb was never planted for Olof. He was just trying to keep an eye on short. And I guess that was the real reason they didn't go for that mid plant. Now Get Right, aggressive into top mid, blistering pace. Everyone's blind. It's utter chaos. Rain. Oh, he's blind as well, but Nico's going to help him out. Get Right falls on that attempted mid-aggression, and now NiP sitting a man down once again, but they clawed this round back in the round prior. This time it's versus the full buyer FaZe, though.
Olof, he didn't spot it. Very close, though. Almost sees the barrel of the gun. NiP employing something FaZe used a lot in that CT side. It is the boost. Lecro drops off it, and probably a good decision for him, because Olof, if he peeked out any wider, that's his kill almost every day of the week. Dennis has gone back towards the window here to watch at least that boost from the CT spawn, cut off any kind of flank into jungle or market. NiP just holding back here, very much poised towards that B side of things, and they can play for retake. They have kits, but no utility to get back into this bomb site if they do so lose it, and they may, because FaZe is setting up here in a man advantage to go for an A-side play. Double con split, a Dren and Guardian coming up through ramp. Rez, the only man within the bomb site. He's got support from the likes of Dennis and Spawn, but Dennis is tasked also with watching that CT wrap, pivoting between the two. Now the smokes go down over the A site, and 25 seconds to FaZe to get a bomb plant.
Oh, Dennis spotting out this attempted mid-wrap, so now all the pressure going to fall onto the ramp players, and Rez has already deleted a Dread. It's Guardian peeking up over the top of Palace to find the first man, but only 5 seconds. That bomb's going to go down, and he does deal with the man at the bomb site, but there's no time. It's an 8th round for NiP, and this was a 12-3 half in favor of FaZe. Since getting onto the T side, they haven't found a singular round, despite of the constant man advantages they've been able to pick up. NiP have been the ones converting them.
Yeah, not the first time that time has come back to hurt FaZe on that A site. forced to get a bomb plant and not able to do so. And NiP just play with their food and deny, you know, the access to the site, hiding at the back of triple. 12-8 here for FaZe, still in control, but our servers aren't apparently, as we take a quick moment back into the game. And hopefully things are all resolved here, and that seems to be the case. So NiP giving up mid here. FaZe are going to be afforded a lot of control. Now this is kind of similar back on NiP's T side, given a lot of mid control, but then FaZe would collapse into it late round. Let's see if that's also NiP's game plan. They're getting aggressive, at least on the B side of things, as Letcro pushes the apartments, and that should allow for Dennis to rotate off. FaZe re-smoke in the window, and they can easily hit either con or short here, depending on where they want to go.
Oh, Dennis looking tempted to go for this mid-peak. Guardian just trained in on the ticket booth, and Rez doesn't know it, but no, Dennis doesn't know it rather. He's pretty lucky that he misses the ticket jump there. That almost certainly would have been his demise. Rez looking to be this first point of contact, and we need to see a lot from him. Get right. Repositioning over into Sam, which will be hidden from Adren at ramp. They go running into Rez, and they best him immediately. Repeat from Dennis. Has to come up trumps here for NiP. Gets the first man, but now Adren emerges from the ramp, and Get Right pressured. He'll fall as well. Letcro and Forest remain 2v3, but NiP, they've been so good at clawing their way back into these situations. Letcro on the long wrap. NiP putting a lot of stock in that, while Forest tries to steal that man advantage away. Guardian will shut him down. Now it is just Letcro arriving very late into this A bomb site left standing. And as that clock ticks on down, FaZe have to start to consider the opportunity that he could have gone for this wrap.
Ooh, there's double under Balk though. Not the most traditional setup. And ooh, Letcro could wait till the end of the round. The issue is, will he check it? That's a no. Adren's there. And after already hearing Guardian on the ladder, he was not ready for a second man in that position. It is going to be FaZe finding their first rifle round, their first round actually, on this T side. 13 to the international squad, up against the 8 of NiP, who have been slowly but surely climbing back into this game. But it could all be for nothing, Harry, if FaZe can continue in their stride. I love the game plan there. They get up into connector and they finally do something with this mid control that's been given to them, right? Smoke in the jungle to cut off the window peak with an AWP. And Adren, he's smoked off a ramp, but he flashes over the stairwell, which catches the player over in that jungle smoke and gives FaZe the entry into the round. So really good call there from FaZe. I actually like that setup quite a lot. And now they're just going to speed things up. NiP, who have been whittled down round after round with the money, have pistols here. And actually, they've made something happen. Rez has just found 3. Where on earth is that from? Default on the site. He's just mown down FaZe Clan with rifles.
Oh. Olaf's got no clue where he's getting shot from either, and NiP able to find that 9th round with just pistols to their name. Their economy was broken, Hugo. They delayed the buy. They wanted to get the full purchase up into that next round, and with just pistols across the board, they're able to find a clean 9th round, all on the back of Rez. Phenomenal stuff from him. Trying to outdo Olaf's earlier Deagle performance with one of his own. Oh, we do get to see the replay. Look at this. There we go. Just sneaking through. Nice and easy. First 2 kills come lightly. In the third, I think he wall-banged the man up in... Oh, no, sorry. It was all 3. Did we get to see all 3? I don't know. It was so fast.
So fast,
And
Harry,
also, one of those kills came through an object. I don't know if he collateraled someone or what. But anyway, it's a 9th round for NiP regardless. And now they've made this more than competitive. They're very much back into the game here. Just 4 rounds separating them from FaZe. And considering this was a 12-3 half, this is not the scoreline I anticipated whatsoever coming into the second.
And FaZe haven't been comfortable in this T side. There have been a lot of very close rounds, but NiP picking up that eco has just saved this game. That would have been FaZe on 14 with NiP with a weak buy, but now winning it has put them in a great economical advantage. Now, they don't have the AWP. That's in the hands of Guardian, but he's not exactly been offered up a lot of picks in this middle portion of the map. This time, FaZe, they do the same thing. Fast A play. 1 shot from Nico to get right. And Rez is trying to find a gap, but he's just been split from the connector. This lack of information from NiP in middle. They didn't have an AWP to hold it down, and they've lost the sight as a result. Forest just catching the timing there on short, but that drop, not heard by Olaf. He's going to pay the price, and that will be his life. But NiP, do you even retake this? 3 on 4. No, they won't.
Yeah, they're going to back off. And you understand why, right? There's 2 players so low on FaZe, and had those kills come through, then you would have definitely seen them tempted to go for this. They actually lose Forest back and away. Now, it won't hurt them too much more. As long as they can keep both these players alive, you still got a very good buy into the next round if you're NiP. FaZe know the value, though, of taking some of these guns away. Won't look to throw any more bodies at the problem. FaZe don't really have a bank of their own just yet, but that 14th round will be found here as another one does come in.
FaZe at least finding solutions here on this T side, something that NiP struggled to do after, similar setups from FaZe, all CT side long. They still managed to keep up their dominant half. NiP started to do so, but FaZe have recovered well. 14-9, 2 rounds the difference between FaZe and a map win over on NiP's choice as well. Do you remember that? The AWP fighting middle, Guardian gets the shot. Can he double it? No, Forest is keeping this round alive for the Ninjas. He's going to keep going as well. Aggressive towards the top of middle, dodges the flashbang and gets a lot of damage. It's actually Rez to take the kill instead, dropping a man in underpass. That'll keep NiP in the advantage here. A much needed kill. And a 4-on-3. Nico going to try and keep up this pace. He just speeds his way to short. Spots a player on the A site, but would rather get the pick to B. He misses the taps, and Letgro will be able to swivel and get that kill. Olof almost caught by the Van Peak, trying to find an angle onto one of these players, but Forest catches him off guard with his, and Adren now left in a 1-on-4. It's looking like NiP might find double digits.
Yeah, question now becomes, can Adren at least make this expensive? With this crossfire set up between Letgro and Forest, you've got very little chance of getting into this B bomb site. It does have a flash to try and facilitate the peak, but Forest holding the angle in a 10th round for NiP. Still some cash here for FaZe, but at this point you're kind of towing the line between, do you want to just take an eco, give over an 11th round, and then have everything you need into the next? Or do you want to take it here and now? And they go with the here and the now. Guardian does have the cash to facilitate an AWP purchase, but decides to go for the AK.
Now we've actually got that AWP on NiP, something they've not had the money to do all half because these rounds have been so close. And that's why the second FaZe won their first T-side round. NiP were on pistols, but it's been gifted over from Guardian at the top of middle, and this aggression down ramp is going to catch Adren off. Guardian's got to move in to try and help. Good nade. But double peek here from FaZe, and they'll get a 1-for-1 for it. Damage done to Rez as well. That's favorable to the FaZe clan. NiP bail out of middle. Still a triple A setup, but FaZe have yet to dedicate. They've got this bomb in spawn, and actually with the man being down, the boost into window, caught by Dennis, not going to be allowed. And that will retrieve the man advantage once again for NiP, leaving FaZe to set up once again for this A execute. NiP have the info though. They know these players were earlier on ramp, and because a window boost just came in, they know another man is towards the bottom of middle. That'll be left for the con split, but Rain backs off just to check the BAP's flank, making sure that NiP are not getting aggressive, and in fact he may get caught by this AWP.
Yeah, if Rain slow peeks this, he's in real danger. He's going to do exactly that. And Letgro forwarded yet another man over towards the B side of things. That has at least prompted the rotation of Dennis on round. That leaves Rez and Forest here at A. Now, Rez was tagged up when he tried to go for the ramp peak earlier on with Get Right. Still with smokes up and the Molotov on Guardian. That can flush Rez out from underneath the Palace here, but they use it at CT instead to try and force the ticket peak. Nothing now to flush Rez out with, so you've got to rely on aim and aim alone, and Guardian does have that in abundance. Turns around, does find Rez. Bomb plant looking to come in. Nico now has to hold the line, and the bomb gets dropped. Dennis and Forest find all the kills required at NiP in 11th round. Showing no signs of stopping here in the second half of the NiP squad.
They're doing it, Harry. This at one point was a dominant game to FaZe, a game that we thought was just about as good as over. But NiP, what a CT side they've had salvaging this map. And FaZe have had little to no response. I want to see a B hit now, because we've not had FaZe go towards that B site since the start of the half. In fact, their first rifle round, that was it. And other than that, we've had almost 10 rounds where they've just gone for these con splits and trying to take over A, not to their favor though.
The only thing is, if you're NiP now, if this game eludes you, you're going to be in your own head knowing that if you just found maybe one more round on your T-side half, then this could have been your map, right? It's taken them a little while to get into the swing of things now. Not showing any signs of slowing down just yet, so we're not really going to focus on that as too much of a possibility. Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Tactical Pause going to draw to a close here, and early on, FaZe setting up with all 5 players towards this B side of the map. You might get to see that B rush you asked for, Hugo. But already, these preemptive rotations coming in from NiP, they're going to have 3 players, now just 2 towards this B bomb site, as Get Right will decide that B is not for him.
I like the way they set this up. They know that FaZe are on pistols here, so NiP don't play close towards the apartments or try and get aggressive like they have done in the past. They take ranged battles with this AWP from the back of market, another man on bench. These are favorable positions for NiP to shut down the pistols without getting necessarily overwhelmed, but that may still be a possibility. Letcro flashed off, caught off the angle. It's down to Forest to spray him down, and he'll only find one. Letcro keeps it alive with a deagle. Forest doubles from the bench, and now it's just Guardian and Nico. Make that just Nico. 1 on 5. This is falling apart for FaZe Clan. NiP very expectant of that B play. And even though Nico got himself to the car, they seem so aware. Get Right gets the damage, and he finds the kill as well. 12 rounds to NiP. They deal with the eco at hand. Another rifle round for FaZe in the future, but we are reaching the end of this map, Harry. And NiP look like they want to take it away.
And that's certainly looking poised to do so, right? The confidence is there. You know, we're seeing them take these duels, take these fights. They're looking good. And that's the NiP we like to see. When they don't look afraid, when they're able to find these openers, that's when they look most deadly. The buy back in for FaZe, AWP over on Guardian. Lecro's still donning his over on the side of NiP. Dennis will get smoked off in mid, tries to find something through it, but will just back on out. Doesn't want to be that first man to fall. So NiP just sitting back, playing passive in this round. No aggression going to come through anywhere. Lecro is holding the apartments with this AWP, and Olaf does wait on the other side. Slow default from either side here, right? FaZe, they've got mid control. They're happy with that. We might get to see a challenge from Rez onto a Dren over here in the Palace. Dren just starting to back on out of it. Actually, no, Rez just sat down beneath the scaffolding.
Lots of map control though for FaZe. Smoke in the window and on top con to give them that position. They are still going to take the bomb into the B apartments here. So FaZe toying with their food, maybe giving the illusion to NiP that they want to hit this A site, but Forest is going to have the info that that's not the case with Rain creeping up catwalk. This is a huge battle here, a very important opening kill, but Forest missing the timing. Rain spotted him, kill on the ladder as well, 35 seconds, and Lecro's attention is diverted. They'll come through the B apartments. He does hit his shot, falling back to the site, but he needs to keep this round alive. 28 seconds, Nico's found him. That's the bomb plant for FaZe Clan if they want, but Nico fakes it, expecting maybe another player close on the site. That will give more time for NiP to rotate back in. Bomb plant finally found, and AWP taken for Nico on the post plant. This could get messy as NiP set up for the 3-on-3 retake.
Yeah, waiting for Rez to get in a position at short so that they can all head into this site together. Timing just betrays Get Right there. The second he looks away and Nico in with the peek. Rez going to make his presence known, and Dennis was spotted just moments ago. So Nico, second kill. The AWPs reign supreme, and FaZe going to reach map point here, 15-12. And now stood on the finish line are FaZe. NiP, the best they can hope for is an overtime here, but it still feels like it could be on the cards with how this game has gone.
Certainly. I mean, FaZe had to work hard to get that rifle round, right? It's very much dependent on the opening kill where Rain takes down Forest, because just that one kill not only is one of the 2 B players on around the NiP, very heavily stacked over on the A site, but it also draws Lecro's attention from the apartments, meaning he has to focus on short, and then 4 players come rushing towards him. He can only get 1. And that's all FaZe need now. 1 kill, 1 round on this T side to close out this map. Nico gets the opening. Dennis dead in the window. 4 more players for NiP here in round number 28, what could be their last on their map pick. And that's a scary thing as well, right? With Dust 2 coming up, FaZe, they've looked really good on that map as of late. So this almost is a necessity for NiP to pick up the series. And it might just elude them here in this 28th round.
Yeah, they've worked so hard to grind back into this map. And it might all be in vain. FaZe setting up for the Hail Mary A play. The set smokes getting lined up by Nico. And Guardian. It's going to culminate in this A-side play with Rain ready to split up through connector if needed. NiP, a man down. You need to see a big performance from Rez and Get Right here. More so than ever. Get Right just biding his time. FaZe maybe trying to make this look like it's a bit of a fake, but it's in very telegraphed to NiP. All this utility raiding in from the ramp portion, and now they do head away. They do leave ramp. This looking like they've tried to fake out NiP. They're going to send Rain up through short. Forest here alone, and actually Rez, or Rain rather, gets spotted meandering up through short. 15 seconds, you have to find Forest or else this round can be all said and done. Rain trying to clear out B, Rez will shut him down, and now Forest just has to hold his own for a couple of seconds.
No plant.
He's been dropped, but the bomb plant, Nico was on it. I'm not sure if there's enough time. It's down to the wire, and he just gets it. Seconds to spare. Guardian in the 1v3. Rez on for the ace, but Guardian finds the first man. Spots Rez as well, but Get Right's there on the flank, and NiP, they keep the dream alive. A 13th round, and now just 2 stand between them and an overtime here on this first map.
Very convoluted and very late in the round. FaZe go for that fake up on the A bomb site there. And as you said, you know, NiP almost convinced by it, and I don't blame them. All the utility was coming over the ramp side. They know there have to be players within the spawn, and FaZe still find the timing to get back towards that B site. It could have been won if Rain found the opening kill as he got himself up catwalk, but unfortunately getting spotted from Con. It is going to be the retake on for NiP. Nice attempt from FaZe, and their last tactical pause has run dry.
Yeah, I want to say it comes off the back of Rain hearing a player rotate in through mid, maybe deciding that that B site might look weaker as a result. And also, you know, the fact they're able to get him up through short yields a pretty promising opportunity to take that B bomb site.
That certainly looked like a mid-round call rather than the initial game plan. FaZe had no control towards B or really middle with the exception of Rain. And, you know, everyone set up towards the Palace and ramp. Very last second, but it almost works out. They get a bomb plant. Guardian in a position where he could have closed out the round, but unfortunately peaked by 2 at once. It is going to be NiP keeping it alive, and overtime still on the cards here, Harry. You said it was a possibility. Well, 2 rounds separates them from that. And if you are just joining us, do remember, this was a 12-3 half for FaZe Clan on their CT side. Oh, how the tables have turned.
They're a bit of that NiP magic in the building. You know, it's powered by belief, of course. So, you know, you got to keep believing.
Do you believe, Harry?
I always believe in NiP, man. you can't not. You can't not. But at the same time, that's often how you feel so betrayed, right? As you start to believe, and then it's like, oh, maybe I just shouldn't have. Maybe I should have been agnostic from the very beginning. But tactical pause drawing to a close. We're back in. NiP just 2 rounds away from overtime in this first map. No one wants to be that first man to fall on either side of the equation. Rez is going to be holding mid. Doesn't find anything through that smoke, and it's the fast short play from Rain trying to set him up in the ladder room, and he bests Forest here yet again. Man advantage taken. FaZe, we've seen them struggle to convert these. This time they almost catch the timing to get out towards A, but the crossfire between Rez and Dennis might just prove to be too much. That bomb's been dropped already. Olaf does reclaim 1 at the very least, and Rain gets himself into the window room. Looking to come in on that late lurk. But with Olaf and Rain both so low, you're looking to Guardian, the man on full HP up in Palace, to try and create some space here for NiP in a very, for FaZe in a very claustrophobic round. Misses that opportunity he's given there. Oh, Rez, very lucky to be alive, just keeps on re-peeking, and he will get rewarded for it somehow, some way. Rain and Olaf, 22 points of health between them. The bomb dropped out in the crosshair of Dennis, and Lekro holding for this window wrap. Rain surely falls here as he looks to try and cross.
He had an idea, Harry, but not going to work out for him. Olof now, he's got to try and find a duel, but look at NiP, they're not giving him one. As I say that, Dennis strafes out, closes it out, and that was almost a round for FaZe. I think 2 seconds separated FaZe from winning that round. If they hit that A site after finding the B pick, a couple of seconds later, they would have caught Rez already moving through the jungle. He was beginning his rotation once Rain got the pick on Catwalk, but Dennis was staying at the back of CT spawn. He didn't decide to rotate, and FaZe walk into the crossfire. That is a very unfortunate round to lose. And FaZe are going to be kicking themselves, Harry, because look at this buy. A Mac-10, a Galil, 3 AKs. It's desperation here for FaZe. Bomb outside of ramp early on. 2 players setting up for the B fake. But surely NiP don't fall for this one. They're not going to rotate early. So FaZe, if they commit out of A too early, they might lose some players. But Rain's found an opening kill. He's got the bomb on his back, and that's been spotted. Adren getting dropped with that down on the ramp. NiP have all the information here, and they have the bomb in a 4-on-4.
Yeah, Adren's dying breath. He throws that bomb into the A bomb site and into the crosshairs of NiP. Guardian wrapping up through connector. No one in this B bomb site right now, but that's not something that FaZe can look to exploit. The only man who maybe could is Olof on a long wrap, but instead tries to rejoin the rest of his squad in from lower tunnels. Now that Molotov lulls Lekro in a bit of a false sense of security, believes that they're just waiting down in bottom mid, and he gets blindsided by Guardian. With that connector peek, Dennis trying to get the trade, and he's toe in the line. It's Guardian able to pick him up. And now 4-on-2, FaZe might be able to take this 16-14. It would be heartbreaking for NiP. Forest trying to do all he can to deny it.
But look on the map.
Guardian, and yeah, this B rotation coming in. Olaf's going to clear it. He'll get the info, but this side of the map is clean. And be allowed to take an aggressive position if he would like. This could catch Forest off guard.
And so confident in doing so. He had his knife out when he was crossing the B apartments. I mean, FaZe have read this one like a book. And NiP, they've got to rotate back into the site. Forest rather, might be here in time to spot the bomb, but will he be able to stop it? Jumping across. And I'm sure he doesn't know that Olof is already within the bomb site as well. Flash is there. No one going to peek off the back of it. Forest will drop one. Nico with the trade. 9 seconds. Get Right cannot stop the bomb plant. Nico can just stick it at the back of default. And his cross is held by Olof Meister. It's going to come down to one man and one man only to keep this map alive for NiP. And there's the first.
And now just Nico stands between Get Right and overtime here in this first map. From 12-3 down to overtime on the cards, but Nico's not going to let it happen. FaZe 16-14. They take this first map. It takes them a little while. We see the full 30 rounds play out. And now for NiP, it's Heartbreak Station. They finally started to find their footing. They showed up in that second half. They really bought the heat.